The best PvP games come in all shapes and sizes. But they're all connected by the simple pleasure of interacting with other humans. Whether it's a healer and a DPS attempting to solve a finicky flanking maneuver in Overwatch, or a tense head-to-head battle tackling terrorists in Rainbow Six Siege, these games wouldn't be the same without a bunch of people running around killing, maiming, or occasionally helping each other. So banish those bots, break out your friends list, put on your most sociable face, and prepare to embrace the best multiplayer games on PC. Whether you want to squad up for gargantuan PvE raids, duke it out against others in PvP, or even combine elements of both in PvPvE, Destiny 2 ticks all of the boxes when it comes to the best multiplayer games. A few years since launch and Destiny 2 is better than ever, with the Forsaken expansion addressing plenty of foibles and a free-to-play launch on Steam, bringing the game to new audiences. Loot ties all of the multiplayer arms together, so no matter how you're playing Destiny 2, your goal is always to acquire powerful new weapons and armor like Destiny 2 exotics. Every mission completed, mini-boss lane, and PvP match won contributes by rewarding you with mightier gear, creating an ongoing, near-endless power fantasy. Although Halo Infinite's multiplayer mode was met by players with a few grumbles, mainly due to its convoluted ranking system and grindy battle pass, it features crisp, satisfying FPS combat. It's like little else on the market. Separating itself from fast-paced shooters, Halo Infinite's in-game weapon spawns, sprawling maps, and time to kill makes this a worthy nostalgia trip and classic arena shooter experience. Despite surface-level similarities to FPS darling CS:GO, Ubisoft have made reinforcing a wall or laying barbed wire as heroic as no-scoping an enemy from 2 rooftops away. Perhaps more than even the best multiplayer games, Rainbow Six Siege is about planning, communication, and execution of a team-based strategy. Rainbow Six made its name by taking a quieter, more considered approach than the bombastic shooters against which it debuted in the late 90s, and in doing so, it made you feel like a highly trained, goggle-wearing, silenced MP5-toting specialist. The latest series entry evokes that same feeling despite the meta changes presented by a barrage of Rainbow Six Siege operators, with more new operators coming in regular post-launch updates. If that sounds intimidating, Ubisoft do offer a Rainbow Six Siege Starter Edition, so you can try it at a lower price. Although, of course, there is destruction. Great big chunks of it that can kick up fine concrete dust every round. Just make sure you don't get it all over your posh new cosmetics. Part of being good at Siege is knowing each map intimately and coordinating your team accordingly. The depth, nail-biting tension, and tactical potential of Rainbow Six Siege makes for a memorable cat and mouse multiplayer experience. No wonder the future of Siege is bright. As an esport it's going global, while still allowing inexperienced high school minnows the chance to attain the glory of a major tournament place. Call of Duty's Battle Royale game was relatively late to the BR party, arriving in March 2020, but it's earned itself a massive following. The free-to-play game initially launched as part of Modern Warfare, but when Black Ops, Cold War and Vanguard came out, all the new weapons were integrated into Warzone. The game receives regular big updates too, resulting in an ever-changing meta. As far as Battle Royale games go, it's particularly fast-paced and aggressive, as players can respawn if they win a 1v1 in the gulag, or be brought back into the fight by their teammates spending cash at a buy station. You can also set up your chosen Warzone loadouts and purchase them during the game, so players can customize their guns with assorted unlockable attachments to try and get the edge on their opponents. Epic Shooter first emerged as an intriguing mix of building, sandbox, and survival elements. The original Fortnite Save the World mode, in which you construct fortresses to combat a severe zombie threat, has long been eclipsed by the world-conquering Fortnite Battle Royale. Thanks to some phenomenal Fortnite player numbers, and the fact it's a good deal more polished than PUBG, Epic's Last Man Standing extravaganza is one of the best multiplayer games on PC. Where you stand on the great Fortnite versus PUBG debate depends on personal preference. Both are strong battle royale games with devoted communities, but Fortnite's eye-catching Pixar sheen, accessibility helped considerably by being free-to-play, and Fortnite building mechanics give it the edge for some over the detailed, deep military sim sensibilities of PUBG. We're in no doubt, however, that Epic's cosmetics game is far stronger. The sheer number of Fortnite skins and Fortnite wraps, weapon and vehicle skins, is mind-boggling. From hyper-mobile gameplay that lends itself to flanking maneuvers to respawn beacons that bring your mates back into the fight after death, Respawn's nimble shooter boasts all the usual trimmings of the best multiplayer games. Where it truly excels, however, is its ability to bring everyone into the fold with its ping system. Should you feel uncomfortable talking to strangers with your microphone or simply don't want to, you can still contribute by pinging enemies, locations of interest, and even the best Apex Legends weapons you want or think others may find useful. The post-apocalyptic shooter is also early in its life cycle, meaning that now is an excellent time to jump in. There will also be a steady stream of Apex Legends new legends for players to sink their teeth into, which promises to freshen up the Battle Royale's meta every few months. Valorant is a tactical first-person shooter game from Riot Games, the creative studio behind League of Legends. This is a precise competitive FPS, set on a beautiful near-future Earth, in which unique character abilities of a lethal cast of characters create opportunities for your gunplay to shine. Teams of 5 players begin the match either attacking or defending, and swap halfway through. Players must also purchase weapons at the beginning of each round, earning currency based on their performance in the previous round. Crucially, though, in Valorant players choose from a roster of agents. Each Valorant character has their own strategic strengths and weaknesses. Some are experts at defending sites, while others set up pushes or secure kills. Although skills play an important role, Valorant still maintains a heavy emphasis on gunplay and competitive balance to ensure it stands up as an excellent game for high-level play, as evidenced by its thriving esports scene. If you haven't heard of Among Us by now, that's pretty sus. The social deduction game skyrocketed in popularity last year, as its classic formula of multicolored beams stabbing each other in corridors became a veritable phenomenon. In each lobby, a handful of players are designated imposters, whose job it is to sabotage and murder the innocent crewmates without being discovered. The game ends when imposters outnumber crewmates, or when crewmates successfully figure out the imposters' identities and vote them off during emergency meetings. This can be initiated by discovering a body or smacking a big red button in the meeting room. Rockstar's open-world game is nearly 9 years old. Shocking, we know, but Los Santos is still a popular destination for online multiplayer. In Grand Theft Auto Online, players create their own budding criminal before connecting to a multiplayer server and teaming up with other players to complete jobs and heists. There's a wealth of player-created content available, too, including races and deathmatches for you to compete in. On the unofficial side of things, GTA Online roleplay servers are especially popular among content creators on Twitch and YouTube, as players make great use of Los Santos's bustling metropolis to create wild, improvised stories of their own. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is a player versus player shooter game in which up to 100 players fight in a battle royale, a type of large-scale last-man-standing deathmatch where players fight to remain the last alive. Players can choose to enter the match solo, duo, or with a small team of up to 4 people. The last person or team alive wins the match. Each match starts with players parachuting from a plane onto one of the 4 maps. The plane's flight path across the map varies with each round, requiring players to quickly determine the best time to eject and parachute to the ground. Players start with no gear beyond customized clothing selections which do not affect gameplay. Once they land, players can search buildings, ghost towns and other sites to find weapons, vehicles, armor, and other equipment. These items are procedurally distributed throughout the map at the start of the match, with certain high-risk zones typically having better equipment. Killed players can be looted to acquire their gear as well. Players can opt to play either from the first-person or third-person perspective, each having their own advantages and disadvantages in combat and situational awareness, though server-specific settings can be used to force all players into one perspective to eliminate some advantages. Every few minutes, the playable area of the map begins to shrink down towards a random location, with any player caught outside the safe area taking damage incrementally and eventually being eliminated if the player doesn't reach to the safe zone in time. So there you have it, the best multiplayer games on PC. Of course, we all know playing multiplayer is only fun when you're playing with friends and winning. I hope you enjoyed this video, And if you find this video informative, then please drop a like, share this video to your friends, and subscribe this channel as it really shows me your love and support.